Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of June 19th, where I have to tell you, I actually love the vibe of the week. And I love that we're bringing in a new season with the sun rolling into the energy of Cancer. It's also rolling into the energy of Cancer without bonking off of a whole bunch of other planets, which means we have the symbolism of shifting easily or more smoothly into a new season, which who doesn't want a little bit of that? But I will tell you, get rough and ready. For Sunday, the energy is confusing. There is just a lack of clarity. Now, we're going to talk about how to work with that as well, of course, but I do want you to know, gearing up this week, when we get to Sunday, which usually carries over, into that Monday morning kind of energy. So as we're rolling into next week, which is going to be, what is that going to be? The 26th, that may be something that's coming to the table. So lots to talk about this week, because there always is, right? But before we do that, you guys loved the mic last week, and me too. I mean, I kind of like it. I kind of want to get up and walk around and talk about astrology and hold the little mini microphone. But either way, the audio is crisp and clear and creamy. And this microphone you guys were asking about is by a company called iJoy. And so I will put a link in the description box down below to what I was able to find, because I actually found this as a recommendation. Somebody said, oh, you should try one of those tiny mics. But I found the mic itself at one of the little discount stores, Ross, TJ Maxx, stuff like that, right? So anyways, I'll put a link in the description box down below, because I bought 4 other ones. So Venus and Leo, here we go. 'Tis the season. Are you guys out there buying any additional things as Venus has been traveling through Leo? Because I will tell you, I have gotten the coolest things. So anyways, let me know in the comment section down below. As well, we are still getting pumped and set up for the Astrological Association conference that is coming in October. So please, I would love to see you in person. I would love to see you hybrid, the virtual. Click in the link in the description box down below and get signed up. And I'm going to tell you right now, before we jump into this forecast, 2026, we have got the Astrological Olympics. It's getting planned right now. So I'm going to be getting you prepared on how to attend a conference of that magnitude, what it is, what it looks like, travel tips. I'm going to be getting you ready on this channel for all of that. So besides just the astrology, you're going to see how astrologers, especially this one, travels so much. So really excited to get you guys ready for all of that stuff, because we talk astrology, we talk technique all of the time, and that's a beautiful thing. But what happens when you want to actualize this into something more? You want to travel, you want to come to the big global astrological conference. Well, we've got plenty of time for you to get planning and ship shape to come enjoy that with us, okay? All right, so jumping in right away on Monday, we're coming in with the moon in the energy of Cancer. It's in its domicile, so relatively comfortable. Now, in mundane astrology, we also talk about and acknowledge how the moon is the symbol of a country or a community's people, right? And so when the people are also a bit comfortable, it makes navigating the planet a little bit easier. So just in general, there's a vibe of being a bit more comfortable with this Cancerian moon energy. Now, to add to some of that sweetness, we've got a busy Monday. First of all, we've got Jupiter in a sextile to Saturn that is retrograde. Saturn's recently gone retrograde, but we've also got on the same day, Venus coming into its pre-retrograde shadow time before it officially takes the retrograde July 22nd. So it is a busy, energetic day, but it's nice that there's going to be some comfort as we're navigating. Okay, now Jupiter in this sextile to Saturn. Remember, the sextile tells us that there is a pocket of opportunity, so something that is right here, and there's an ease or a softness about it. And then in the sextile, not only is the opportunity right here, but then we're also taking intelligent action to take advantage of the opportunity that has been presented, okay? So in this particular arrangement, Jupiter is ready to expand the resources. Remember, Uranus has been rolling through Taurus, unearthing, yes, the dead bodies, the skeletons in the closet, the things that have been buried, they've all been coming up and out to be dealt with, and many of us have had that experience. Some of them are quite painful things, right? Taurus is a fixed energy. If I just sit on it enough, then I can deal with, I can endure it. And Uranus has come and just shaken up, shaken, not stirred, the mountain. So it rose to the surface. Also behaviors, actions, attitudes that we've been being stubborn about that we needed to release. But it's also unearthed and brought to the surface the gems, the jewels, the minerals, the talents, the resources that you already have. And you have had them in your possession for probably years. And you were simply not able to see them or actualize them. So as Uranus has unearthed those, Jupiter is like, great, now let's bring it up and out. Let's expand this thing. Let's go. Freedom, travel, adventure, expansion. Okay? So we've got that energy in a pocket of opportunity to Saturn, who's retrograde in Pisces. So looking back over what you've been talking about, and now it's time to be about it. I've been talking about that for weeks on this channel, that Saturn in Pisces is like, stop talking about it and be about it. We've got to put a container on this dream, on this vision, on this thing that you want to do. And this is a sweet and succulent day to be able to do that. So where are you finding your own expansion today, or an opportunity to have like a freedom move? This is your rise to freedom. Now, we've also got that Venus stepping into its pre-retrograde shadow time. So this is where I want you to start paying attention. What's coming up for you around this time in the Leo area of your chart? And always keep in mind, if you're not sure how to find the transit or even how to find Leo in your chart yet, click in the description box down below. I've got a video specifically showing you how to find the transit in your chart and how to find the particular sign in your chart as well, so you have an idea of, okay, what house is this activating for me? Because you're going to have a different experience if Venus is going to be retrograding through your 12th house, as opposed to if Venus is going to be retrograding this season through your 9th house. So make sure you look and see on your own personal chart. And of course, if you don't have one of those, click down below and come get one for me, or go get one online for free. But check it out and then see how to find this in your own chart. If you're a little bit more advanced as well, you can start to add in your aspects and things like that, okay? But as Venus is stepping into this pre-retrograde shadow time, starting to slow down in this Venus, in this Leo area of your chart, and I want you to start to just notice what's coming up for you around your creativity. What's coming up for you around your self-expression and what you value, and where you want to be big, and you want to be generous, and you want to be seen. You want to be seen and loved. I also want you to step back into your chart into June to September of 2015, and please be very specific about those dates, okay? Go back into your life, and if you're like, Stormy girl, I cannot remember, it's fine. Get in the Wayback Machine, grab pen, grab paper, grab a glass of water, maybe at the new moon or one of the moons. Step into a place where there's a lot of water and ask the universe to help you reveal what was going on for you at that time in your life. And did you give up something that you loved? Did you have a heartbreak at that time because you really were passionate about something, but maybe you had to put it down and you couldn't continue on with this? If you ask, remember, take one step towards the universe and the universe will come running. So the revelation is there, I promise, okay? And there is just something magic when we put pen to paper. So write it down and let me know what was going on, and then start to see what's also showing back up in your life in a pattern of what was going on in 2015, because that is what we're going to review as Venus takes this retrograde, and we will end it in completion all the way in October. Okay. Later in the evening, speaking of all this Leo dish we've got going on, later in the evening, we'll see the moon actually shift into that energy of Leo. So a little feisty, a little spicy is what we've got going on. Now we've got the moon in a fire sign, and it's the kind of fire sign that wants to love big, like big love is what we're putting out there. Big expression, big fun, a big smile, big laughter, play, right? That childlike play, that childlike enthusiasm for your life. So if you haven't really been feeling it, and by feeling it, I mean whatever it is, if you haven't been feeling it, I would ask you to consider Rules 62 and Rules 63 in the Book of Life. Rule number 62. do not take yourself so damn seriously. Calm down. Calm down, okay? Like, lighten up a little bit. Also, though, Rule 63. Stop taking them so damn seriously. You know, like, this is a 2.5 day period where you can lighten up just a little bit, because even if you've got big things to tackle, humans can't exist under pressure all of the time. Even the most badass of our humans that are out there tackling things in the night so that you and I can be here with a mini microphone on the internet cannot live under constant stress and constant pressure, right? So I want you to just take this 2.5 day period, lighten up, don't take them or you too seriously, okay? Now, as we're traveling through Tuesday, you've got that Leo fun energy, so try to enjoy it. And then when we get early afternoon on Tuesday, we've got the moon moving into void, of course. So this is our chance right here in Tuesday energy to relax, to rest, to revive, to release, to refresh. You know what I really have come to like? I don't know if it's because I'm in my 40s now. I can say that today. I'm in my 40s. Anyways, I don't know if it's because I've gotten older, but I used to hate those daytime spritz your face things. I've always hated those, unless it was water and peppermint oil, which I really love. But those like refresh your skin things, I was like, disgusting. Who is doing this, right? There's a whole industry, so clearly people were doing it. And today, I've got a peppermint and rose water one, and I just think that that is a whole delight. So during the void of course moon, what do you need to refresh? Maybe it is not your face. Maybe it's, just a walk outside, a deep breath. Whatever it is, use your void of course time brilliantly. Now, we will see when we get to Wednesday, first of all, we've got the sun moving into the energy of Cancer. So happy birthday, my Cancerian friends. And I don't know if you know this about me, but one of my favorite days of the year happens to be June 19th, Cancer season, as you may know. So happy birthday, Cancerian friends. And to the rest of us welcoming in the summer or winter solstice, depending on where you're listening. This is an opportunity to enjoy and bring in the refreshing energy of a new season. And remember, I know we often think about Cancer as that mothering, nurturing, little sideways crab energy. But remember the video I showed you a couple weeks ago where we were talking about hermit crabs, and then we were talking about how not all crabs actually move sideways and things like that. There is this energy that is still cardinal. This is a beginning, a forward motion kind of energy. So at this point in the season, what are you ready to begin? But we're going to begin things with the ruling planet of the moon. So truly, emotionally, what are you ready to begin in your home, in your guts, in your physical home space, in the place where you nurture you? What are you ready to begin? Because think about when we came into Cancer season last year, what progress or what revelations have shown up for you about where you would like this area of your chart to breathe? Now, for example, me and my chart, Cancer lives in the 11th house. My North Node is also in Cancerian energy. And I can tell you, as we're coming along to Cancer season, one of the biggest things that is happening in my chart that is a difference from last year, 11th house, social groupings, friends, social media, all of these kinds of things. Well, almost my entire friend group is different being in Spain. I've got an entirely different friend group. We speak in an entirely different language or two in a given day. So when you reflect back to your last Cancerian season, what are you prepared to start, and what does it look like from last year, okay? Now, just behind that, we've got busy little Mercury coming into a sextile with Mars, and I actually like this energy. It can be a lot. It really can be, but I do like it, okay? So first of all, again, the sextile is the aspect telling us there's a pocket of opportunity and we're going to intelligently take action on that thing, okay? So Mercury sextiling Mars. This is, I'm clear on what I want to do. I can make a decision and go in a direction. There is not a lot of confusion in this, and I really like that because it's just a very direct, decisive, this is what I'm doing kind of energy. It is also an energy where it's like you get the mind and the fingertips together. So one of the things I think about is if you needed to write a paper You needed to type up that god awful long contract, or maybe you're just a writer. This is like the day where you can just get after it. It's like the mind and the words and the thoughts are coming out of the fingers. And if you're not a finger person, you're able to access getting that communication out of your body. And I think it's absolutely brilliant because you really have the mind going in a fair amount of clarity, and then the motion the motion's in the ocean and it is ready to take you forward. Now, if you think back, we've already had this type of arrangement, okay? So think back into April. So April 8th and April 23rd. What was going on? What were you doing? What were you taking action on at that time that it was like, boom, there is clarity? I can tell you what it looked like for me. I was creating a ton of content, right? If anybody knows how I roll over here, I am a content making monster, kind of. So I am. So what was going on for you? What were you doing? Okay. Now, later in the evening, we've got Mercury in a sextile to Chiron. Now, I think that this is also pretty brilliant. Mercury is very busy, but this is a brilliant aspect because as Mercury is sextile to Chiron, now we have a pocket of opportunity to intelligently take action, but the head and the heart are aligned, right? The head kind of has an understanding, but the understanding is informed by the heart. And what I mean by that is Chiron is our wounded healer. So it's some place that has hurt for you. It has really hurt. It's not a paper cut. Okay, it's something that has hurt, likely a wound to some version of your identity. But Chiron has been doing so much work here. So your identity, that wound, that place of you who was like, I'm just an imposter, or I can't do that because, right? Whatever that story has been, there has been a rise, there has been a healing. And now the heart is informing the head and the head's informing the heart, and you're talking and you can share with someone else and you can let them share with you, right? It's really this place where when we share with each other and we can share our war stories, share our success stories, then everybody gets to live a little bit better. It's an absolutely fantastic energy. And I also think that when you share from a place where the wound has been healed and or at least understood, you create a space to take advantage of opportunities that weren't available for you before. I mean, think about it. You know, if it's you're going to take that new job, or you're going to put out your piece of content, or you're going to have a baby, and you really wanted to do that before, but it was like you just couldn't muster up the confianza is what it's called, confidence to do it. This is the time. Okay. Oh, good aspect for us. Okay. Now, when we get to Thursday, we're going to see we've got a nice long void of course period. So I would encourage you Thursday to rest, but in the middle of that void of course period, now we've got Mars coming on over here to make a trine to Chiron as well. So we've already had this like head heart alignment. Now it's head heart meets action. Do you love that? Do you love that? And we've recently, in the beginning of the week, had Jupiter in a sextile to Saturn retrograde, said stop talking about it and go be about it. This is some of that energy as well. You are healed. Something in you has had a healing. Something in you has had an awakening, soulmate. It has. Something has been awakened, and now it is waiting to be actualized. Is it love? Are you ready to let love into your life in a different way? Is it acceptance that sometimes you're going to be the monster in someone's story, but you're going to do the best not to if you can, but it's unavoidable? You know, is it gardening and you've been so afraid to garden because you were like, I got to be working. What is it for you that has had this? All right. It's okay for me to go forward and take action on the next thing. Whatever it is, start it now. We're going to see it again December 15th. Okay, so really enjoy that energy. Friday, relatively quiet except for we do still have that void of course energy going. And then we've got the sun in a sextile to the north node and in a trine to the south node. So this is the sun bringing light, heat, life, motivation. You want to be seen, you want to be known, you're motivated in this energy, having a conversation with our destiny points. So this is pretty cool. Now remember, the sun is in the energy of Cancer. We've recently just had a season change. So as we're in this cardinal conversation, it is like, first of all, we've got that sextile. You've got access to where you can go. You've got access to the destiny point forward in Taurus, which is saying you have everything you need to get on that destiny road of where you're going to go. Start where you are. Use what you have to do what you're trying to do. Look around. What do you have at your fingertips right now today that if it just didn't need to be a little bit different, a little bit better, you could actually pick up that tool. You could actually watch that digital course you bought. You could actually use your fingertips to create what it is that you want to see and have in your life. You are your resource right now. Tap into that. Then you've got a trine to the south node down in the scorpionic energy, and that trine, I think, does two things. One, it shows you why you would release the past, why you would release the control, the old story, the old hurt, the I can't step out and take a risk, I have to be powerfully protected because I'm too vulnerable or I'm too scared. So it gives you an ease of access to release that, and by releasing that, then you get on the escalator to the north node where you're like, okay, I got to come out from hiding, I've got to come out from behind the scenes and allow myself to be make a resource, a material resource in public, a valued resource in public, right? So it gives you some ease to be able to do that. But I also think even at a deeper level, you can tell which axes you're really on with this north and this south node, because if you are having an easier time accessing the south node energy, which is not bad, right? But what you might find is that you're like, no, I'm just more comfortable, or I find it more easy to just not take a risk, right? You find the ease in that and you're going more towards that. That may mean that you're living a little bit more in that south node energy, which I will tell you, if what you need in your life and in your chart is calling you to step more into that south node energy, you will know. Trust your intuition, trust your body. It cannot lie to you, and do what you need to do. Not every aspect is about, oh, north node the best, south node the worst. It's not like that at all, right? You've got to listen to your own being and see which escalator you need to get on. But whatever happens here, get on an escalator. And if you need help, ask for it, okay? All right, right after that, to get you all organized up and ready to live your best life and be the best version of yourself, we have got the moon moving into the energy of Virgo. So good to organize, be of service. You can be problem solving, right? Because remember, that moon in Virgo really does, at an emotional level, you want things to be the best that they can be. You want your house to be clean. You do want things to be organized, and not in a criticizing, negative, nitpicky way, but simply, stuff equals stress. Stuff equals stress. So when we can organize the stuff or be aware of the stuff that we have, we can understand the level of stress we are willing to commit to. Does that make sense to you? Right? If you know I've got 6 cups, then you say, okay, I agree, and I commit to 6 cups worth of stress and keeping up with that thing, putting energy into that. If you've got pets, if you've got children, stuff equals stress, right? So you want to do a little internal/external, because Virgo is an earth sign, so in the material plane, inventory of what's in your life, because everything you see is a stuff, so it means it is a stress. So how much stress are you willing to have, and is that stress in some kind of order so that you can not survive with it but thrive with it? Okay, stuff equals stress. Just take that with you. Okay, as we get later in the day on Saturday, we're going to actually see that moon shift into the energy of Libra. So now we can rebalance and think about this. I have a vision of that Friday to Saturday journey, which is I get a little organized. I clean out the stuff I don't need anymore, the stuff I'm not actually willing to invest my stress into, right? My stress coins. And then because the space has been cleared, whether that's from people, places, or things, then I rebalance. Do you know what I mean? Have you ever done that where you clean out the car, you clean out your house, you clean the pantry, the fridge, you break up with somebody, you bring somebody into your life, and it's just this sense of balance and harmony and pleasure is restored. And because the moon will be traveling in Libra and air energy, you also get a mental calming. Like the head shuts off. It's not going so fast. That inner critic is not running so hard. Instead, your body, your neurological system, and your spirit are like, ooh, I like this. Ooh, this is all us, right? So that's what the moon has to offer for the next couple days, okay? Now, Sunday, here it is. We're going to see, to start the day, that Mercury is going to come into a square with Neptune. So this is our thinking coming into square with our intentions, okay, our ideals of what something should be. So this creates a lack of clarity, first of all. So I would tell you, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes here a little bit, because what you're seeing or what you thought it was might not be exactly what it is. Okay, now we're going to see this aspect 2 other times this year, in November and December respectively. So I just want you to be mindful of the confusion that is absolutely in the air this day. You know, is this a day where you're not on clear and you lock the keys in the car, or everything's touch. You know, so you probably still be able to get into your car. You lock the keys in some place. Okay, you just forget what you're doing. So be mindful of that forgetfulness energy that's available. But also, I do think that the square always wants us to do something to bring new information or to bring a revelation of some variety. So something that you did not know, and not just like that crocodiles actually have tears or something like that, but something important that you did not know, I think it has a chance to reveal itself on this day. Now, just after that, the moon is going to go void, of course. Okay, so rest, be still on Sunday, or just be aware that you're probably a little bit more in the la la land of things than you normally would be, okay? But later in the day, we're going to see Mars come into a square with Uranus. Now, Mars and Uranus are both perfectly willing to go to war. Okay, so that's why these two can be interesting when you put them together, because what's the mission they're working on? Could be something that's really great, but they are both as equally willing to throw hands if they need to. So remember, the square aspect here is the 911 of our conversation pieces, of our conversation aspects. So it's saying, do something, but that's just it. With Mars and Uranus together, you could just feel like, I just need to do something. Now hold on. That is a great energy for, let's say, in a relationship. That is a great energy for what they like to call in my house, a fight. Okay? So you have to be mindful of just doing something, but then you've also got this confusing energy that rolled in a little bit on Sunday morning. So just be mindful of what you want to do, because Uranus and Mars together is an electrical experience, to say the least. Now, how can you use this really well? Do something, right? I know I just said, like, don't just do something, but this is a great energy to do something. Let that electric energy come up and out of you in a way that is productive. Okay. Now, we just cannot avoid accidents. That's literally the nature of how they got their name, is they are accidents, or emergencies are actual emergencies. But other things that you can do are, do some yoga, like the athletic kind, if that's what you're into, or just get things done that need to be done, and also kind of try and enjoy the electric energy if you're not used to experiencing it, because what it will give you access to is trusting your instinct. What is this vitality versus volatility energy? right? And that is the difference between sorting out your instinct and your destructiveness, maybe is a good word for that. So it'll be an interesting day to see what you do with that. Now, I'm always mindful, just in my own way, of other people experiencing the energies around me as well. We gather every week to talk about what's going on up there, but you know, Bob, who lives next door, might not be visiting with his local astrologer to pay attention when he's pulling that car out of the driveway because it's going to run over someone's scooter, right? This can be a very volatile energy. So you're here, you're listening, you're tapping in. So let's just be a little bit mindful that the electricity is flowing and going and the confusion is abundant as we get to Sunday. All right, my beautiful soulmates, use this week to the best of your ability. I love you a ton, and I look forward to seeing you next week.